everyone. This video is for the social responsibility project for Professor Day's class, and this is MBA 710. This video is hopefully supposed to be motivational. It's supposed to get you thinking about leadership, maybe in a way that you haven't thought of before, give you some recommendations, some tips, some insight into values and beliefs of leaders and what makes a leader great. And hopefully the takeaway of this video is that you have some basis of somebody else's experience to go off of and see, well, maybe there's leadership opportunities and avenues that you haven't thought of before. So I really hope that that transpires back to you guys and that you find it valuable. So let's get started. I want to split this video up into some sections just to get you kind of oriented with what I want to say, because 15 minutes is a long time to talk, and I just wanted to have a little bit more of a structure. So part one is really going to be a quick blurb of myself, my background, my schooling, my major, and then really my career, my job, because it's going to give you some context later on into the recommendations that I give you, and you'll kind of see where I am and what I'm doing and why it mattered. So that's part one. Part two is really going to be a quick overview of what I think of values and beliefs in a leader and how that kind of connects to this idea of a social responsibility. So that's part two. And then part three is really going to be a recommendations and tips section. And really the goal of that is to give you some background on, if I could give you 3 tips, what would they be? If I were able to go back in time and do something over, what it would be. And then at the end of the video, I will put my contact information if you guys have any questions or if you want to reach out. I am more than happy to stay connected. So, alright, so I went to the University of Connecticut and I studied management information systems. Basically, the reason that I did management information systems was because IT was huge at the time. People were constantly talking about data analytics and securing data and moving data and how to do it safely. And at the time, and I still find this fascinating, I thought that, this would be a great avenue for a good career, and luckily it was, I think, and I got the opportunity to intern at PwC, and PwC is a public accounting firm, and I was based out of Hartford, and basically what I did there is I did still do IT, but from a audit perspective and a risk perspective. Just to give you a quick overview, is we would go to different clients and assess their IT systems and pretty much come back with an opinion of this is working fine, or provide some recommendations as to what they should fix and how to fix it. So that's a quick blurb on what I do, but I want to give you a quick overview of the hierarchy and the structure at PwC, because it'll give you some context as to where can you find leadership opportunities. Is it, does there need to be a hierarchy to have leadership opportunities? So the way that PwC is structured is that you come in, you're either an intern or a new associate. And as a new associate, your role really within the organization is, and in your career, is to learn, right? You're going to learn what you don't know that year. It's what I call the blue skill year, and so you're kind of building up on your technical capabilities. So you may not think that there are any leadership opportunities at this stage in your life because you don't have any direct reports, you're not technically really leading anybody, but I would argue that there are leadership opportunities in this area because even though you don't have any direct reports or you're not leading a bunch of people, you do have the opportunity to lead others, right? So if you were working on a project or a task that you need to accomplish, but you have a way better way to do it, you have a quicker way, and you want to show that to other people, you have the opportunity to lead and lead that change across laterally and upwards so that you make a process improvement. So that's really a new associate. The next stage is a experienced associate. And what this really means is that you've had a year to learn, you have a year to build that blue skills, and you're continuing to build those blue skills, but now you have somebody underneath you that you have to teach and you have to mentor and you have to lead. And this is really where I think in my career the light bulb kind of turns on, and you get to learn really what your strengths and weaknesses are, because you don't really know unless you have to teach somebody, just like this video. So that's an experienced associate, and then you get into a senior, which is really just more and more responsibilities, multitasking different projects at the same time, but then also still leading underneath you and leading maybe even upward so that you can manage upward. And that's really it, and then it gets into a manager and the partner, and that's just more and more, obviously, leadership opportunities. So for me, I ended up actually leaving PwC as a senior, and I did this because, and it kind of sounds strange, but I did this because I was seeking more leadership opportunities, and it may seem weird to me now because I left a position where I had direct reports underneath me, and now I don't. But I still find value in the ability to lead, because I get to lead change across a whole department, right? So it's a different type of leadership, but it's still there, and you still can seek it even if you don't have anybody underneath you. Just like I mentioned, if you were a new associate in your career, or if you are just doing a group project in class, even though you don't have the opportunity to be, a leader like we were in class, we were given the opportunity to lead one section at a time. If you don't get that opportunity, you can still take that ownership and lead on your own, lead across, and get your voice heard. So that's pretty much my background. And part 2 of this video, and this kind of segues into it, is what are some values and some beliefs that you should have as a leader. And really, my biggest takeaway from this class and from just who I am in general is that a leader needs to be somebody that can transpire their biggest beliefs and their values and honesty to their followers, right? So off the bat, you need to know what that leader stands for. It needs to be consistent, it needs to be clear, and it needs to be communicated to everybody. It can't be on a whim, it can't change, and it really needs to be something that you carry with you all the time as a leader, because oftentimes it's a little harder to follow somebody when they don't, so say they don't have that charismatic personality, or they don't have that outgoing personality. It's going to be a really difficult process to follow you if people don't believe in you and they don't believe in your values, and maybe they don't even know your values. So I would say that's the biggest takeaway from a leadership perspective, and we went through this in class too, just to see what are the greatest leaders and what do they do, and one of the biggest things is to just act with integrity and have your values known to others, because all the rest of the skills I think you can work on and you can improve, but if you don't have that fundamental aspect, then I think it's going to be really difficult for people to follow you. So that is part 2, and how that really kind of transpires into this idea of social responsibility is that once you do get to mentor somebody, and once you do get to lead others, those types of emotions and feelings and values kind of just come with it. They come to you so that you want to do this. And I'll get into the recommendations of how you can achieve that even if you don't have a leadership opportunity right now. Okay, so I have 5 minutes left. We will do some recommendations and tips, and we'll see how many we can squeeze into the last section. So I would say tip number 1, and this is probably the most important tip that I can give you, is that you need to seek opportunities, leadership opportunities in particular, in areas outside of your day-to-day tasks, right? So you don't need to just have tasks in your day-to-day job and lead in those areas. You can seek those opportunities outside of that, right? So for example, when I joined PwC and in an IT background, it was a predominantly male environment. So what I did is I wanted to start a women's leadership network, and what I did is I wrote a proposal, and I went to the right people for advice, recommendations. I used my network, and I went to the partner and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the budget that I need to do it. I want to help, I want to hold these meetings quarterly, and I want to inspire younger women, and I want to mentor them, and I want to lead them. So it gave me the opportunity to lead in a way that I've never led before, and it didn't help my job. It didn't do anything for me except give me the opportunity to lead and lead by example, and it made me feel really good about myself. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to seek those opportunities outside of your day-to-day job, whether it's in a group project or this video, for example, or if you're volunteering and you're leading the effort to hold an event or raise money or anything like that, because those types of leadership opportunities play such a huge role in building your leadership development, just as much as anything you do at work. So that's my biggest advice and recommendation. Another one that I want to stress in this video is so I just want to start off with saying it is okay to say no. And the reason I'm giving you this piece of advice is because through my own experiences as a leader, as a follower, I approached every task and every project at work with saying, yes, I can do this for you, I can do it, just, toss it on my plate, I'll get it done. And then it kind of got into, well, now I need to do it on the weekend, I'll do it at night, I'll just do anything I can to get it done. And what that really does is that, yeah, it makes you kind of look like you're strong, you can do everything, but at the end of the day, it's going to suffer in quality, and then you're going to hurt those relationships, and you may not be a good leader. People can see you being stressed. People can see you not being 100% there in every meeting. They can see that you're a little scatterbrained. So my advice is that it's okay to say no, and the way that a leader should say no is by empowering others to take some ownership of those tasks, right? So if I have a lot of things to do and I need to alleviate that from my schedule, I need to be the type of leader that is okay with handing off work and trusting in others to do a really good job with training them, with motivating them, and with empowering them to complete those tasks. Because if you hold on to everything, if you hold on to all your knowledge and not share it with anybody, it's just going to be really hard for you to lead and to have others, follow you. They're never going to feel like they're empowered to help you. So that is the other biggest recommendation I can give you, because when I went through it, I suffered. My social aspect suffered, my work quality suffered, and now I'm in the point where I can say, you know what, I think you can do this, you can help me out, and I think you're going to do a great job. So those are my 2 recommendations. We are almost running out of time, but I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you really enjoyed it. But let me know if you have any questions, and if you need any more advice in finding leadership opportunities in other avenues, or just some further recommendations that I can give you. So thanks.